But tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys about how you can benefit the most from attending a styled shoot and how you can maximize your marketing. Because I think that there's just a lot of things that we are trying to focus on when we attend, whether we are a photographer, a vendor, what have you, a model. And there's a lot of things that are being missed. And there's so much opportunity from attending a styled shoot to help you create opportunities for yourself and your business. So I wanted to talk about those. So this is going to be short and sweet, but impactful. Just a side note too, someone did request that I talk about niching, how to find your niche and narrow things down so you can get very specific with your marketing. That was already on my list to talk about in the future. It's one of my favorite subjects, so we will talk about that next week per request. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So when we're talking about styled shoots and we're thinking about attending one, and it doesn't matter who you are, photographer, vendor, model, we are looking for the right kind of shoot that's going to benefit us best. Because typically what we're all looking for are images for a portfolio, right? So we take some time to scrutinize and make sure that it's the right shoot for our market and who we want to market to and what opportunities that we're hoping to get out of it. And that is smart, and that is what we should be doing. But the moment that you decide to join and you sign up or you purchase a ticket, that's where I think the mindset needs to shift, and it oftentimes doesn't. And what I mean by that is that we focus so much on what we're going to get out of it, we kind of forget about what everyone else is there for as well, and what their needs might be, and how we can help meet those needs, and in turn develop some really amazing relationships that can give us opportunities in the future. So what I mean by this is, like, for example, if I go to a styled shoot and there's not a huddle at the beginning from the planner who's telling me who's participating that day, what things might be needing to be featured, then, for example, I don't know if the jewelry that the models are wearing is something that's provided by a specific jeweler who we need to feature and make sure to get shots of, or if it's just some jewelry that you happen to get off of Etsy that no one is, that you purchased, someone's not participating, you aren't really focusing on, crediting them as an active participant in the shoot. Okay. I've been in several situations where I have had vendors come up to me during a shoot and say, hey, can you do me a favor? No one ever takes pictures of my china. No one ever takes pictures of my jewelry. And I really would love to have some of those images. Could you do that for me? No one should ever have to ask me to do that, number one, okay? So that's why it's so important to think about the other people that are there, not just ourselves, okay? So that may mean reaching out to the planner, the coordinator ahead of time and saying, hey, can you, if you have the list, can you go ahead and give me the list of everyone that's involved, or let me know, are there certain vendors that we should keep in mind to feature and make sure we get shots of? Because I know for photographers, a lot of the attitude that I see is, well, I only need to take shots of the couple. I don't need any solo models really for my portfolio, or I don't need details. I have plenty of those. Just take a few shots, guys. Just take a few shots, because you would have no idea how many vendors participate and devote their time and money and efforts, and they are so let down because they weren't getting what they were hoping for. You did. You got the images you wanted, but they didn't. And these are the people who refer you to clients, okay? Establishing relationships with everyone involved is what helps give you future opportunities. But we're so focused on our mindset being of what is this shoot going to give me that we tend to forget. And I'm not trying to say this about people in a negative way. It's just, it's right for you to scrutinize and to be particular about what shoot you get involved in. But I think where we forget to shift our mindset is the moment that we decide to participate and we attend, and we don't really think about taking a moment to step back and saying, how can I help this vendor today? How can I help this model today? And vice versa. So that's something I think it's really important to think about, is shifting your mindset after you purchase that ticket, after you agree to participate in a shoot, and see how you can help people, because this is a total team group effort. It costs money to put these on. It takes a lot of time. So that's something important. I think that we forget about that. These are referral opportunities. You can take, I can't tell you the number of times where I haven't needed to take photographs of a solo model because I focus mostly on couples, but I'll still take a few images to make sure they have something for their portfolio. And I'm not joking, that model will end up referring a couple to me. Those are things to think about, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is the importance of fostering relationships. Most creatives, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right on this, most are pretty introverted people. It's really tough for people to show up to a style shoot, whether you're participating as a vendor or a model or a hair and makeup artist, or if you're a photographer, especially if you don't know a soul there. And you guys may not realize this, but I'm one of the biggest introverts ever. I'm just outgoing, but that's a learned behavior. That is a learned behavior that I've done purposefully because I don't want to let any aspect of my personality get in the way of my opportunities, my goals, and my dreams. So I push through that, and it does get easier. But it's so important to try to connect at least with someone while you're at the shoot. And I try my best, and I may not always succeed and do as good of a job as I should when I attend a style shoot because, it's not necessarily that I'm shy, but just so introverted, I'm uncomfortable socially in new environments with new people. But try to connect with at least one person, okay? Try to arrive early. No matter what role you're playing in the style shoot, arrive early because not everyone that's part of the team for the day is remaining the entirety of the day. Sometimes hair and makeup artists will come early and they leave. You may never otherwise see them. Some people may set up, leave, and come back. Some may stay. Everyone's a little bit different. So if you can arrive early and try to just introduce yourself face-to-face to other vendors, that's going to help establish relationships. Bring your business cards, connect via Instagram. Do what you can do to start those relationships there. Amanda says learned extroversion. Exactly. That's exactly what I've done. Like, it's pretty natural to me at this point. It doesn't mean I'm not uncomfortable. But I'm definitely better one-on-one with someone than I am in large groups, and though people would never guess that because I speak publicly all the time. But I think especially if you have a hard time with that, try to find just one person that you can kind of buddy with and make a friend for the day. It really, really helps to be able to network with people and establish those relationships. That's why you're there. Super important. Now, because not everyone stays throughout the day, trying to connect on social media would be the next step to do, because sometimes I've been in situations where I may have not met the person at the shoot, or maybe I did, it was extremely brief, but our relationship grew via instant messaging and Instagram and Facebook, what have you. So try to follow the people that are involved, and that can really help too to establish those relationships. And when you're on social media, guys, just side note, just following someone and then occasionally liking their post, that's not enough. We're hoping for people to like and comment and help get our organic reach out on social media. And it's so important to treat people you follow the way that you would hope they would treat you. Meaning, like a couple posts, leave a genuine comment, and then follow them. And continue to do that. Show that you support them, because it makes a big difference. When someone feels supported, they want to support you too in return. Very, very important, okay? Photographers, make a point to photograph all the vendors' contributions. Like I was saying before, if you don't have a vendor list that's given ahead of time, take a brief moment to ask the planner and coordinator when you arrive who is participating and who would like, who do you need to focus on for featuring. Just mention that you want to make sure that you're creating images of their work and that you're not missing anything. That means so much to people, because oftentimes you'll arrive at a shoot and there's not any kind of meeting at the beginning telling you who's there, and I'll find out later that, oh, well, this jewelry was from so-and-so, or this particular, invitation suite is from this person. Never saw it, didn't know it was there, never knew the person was there. So that's important to ask those things. But that's also why when you come to a shoot with me, we're definitely having a meeting at the beginning, and every model and every vendor and every participant in photographer is going to be introduced, and we're going to be talking about who has devoted their time and goods in what manner and what to focus on, because it's so important. This is teamwork, because this is the thing. If we're not supporting one another, why in the world would someone want to participate in a shoot again? And if we have this problem, photographers, there's not going to be shoots to attend, or they're not going to be as awesome as you all know they can be. So it's very important to think about that. Also, be selective. Be selective because choosing the right style shoot makes all the difference for your portfolio. You want to make sure that the shoots that you attend are going to attract the right audience for you. That way you have more opportunities to gain clients for photo shoots and weddings photographers. Models, you may be able to find people who have connections for other style shoots to help increase your portfolio. Super important to make sure that you're picking the right styled shoot for your niche. Amanda, I see you put a comment. Let me see what you got here. Hold on. Can you discuss what the style shoot experience is like for your group of photographers? Do you schedule slots for each to have time directing? Is there limited time per model or setup? How many photographers are typically present? Hold on, Amanda. I want to make sure I got all this. How much time? Absolutely. Yeah, I'll chime in on that right now, and then we'll finish up the rest of this info. For me, there's no more than 5 photographers per model. This next one, that's going to be max, by the way, because I think in some scenarios that's too much. Like, for example, we're going to have 4 stations at my next one. There's 2 couples, there's a solo model, we're going to have a detail station. There'll be 30 minutes per station. And what I would like to do is, I'm going to try this out, is have everybody work together for 15 minutes of that time, especially, the models. Details doesn't matter so much, but with the models, 15 minutes together as a group, because I find that photographers work really well on helping each other learn posing. I think there's a lot of growth that happens with that. After that, what I want to do is give each person at least 5 minutes to direct and pose their models the way that they want to, that they see fit. If the other 2 photographers want to shoot at the same time, they can, but that primary photographer is the one that gets the center stage for the shots. So as far as shooting is concerned, that's what I will do. So yes, there's definitely scheduled time slots. I'm a big stickler on that and having a plan ahead of time. I also specifically want to know if, when photographers arrive, I will ask if you're shooting with a prime or a zoom, because that is a problem when those are in combination. For example, with me, if I'm shooting with a 50, I've got someone behind me with a zoom, I'm in their way and I feel like I can never get close enough. So things like that I definitely keep in mind and will be addressing and making sure that people are grouped appropriately so the best images can come out for all involved. Let me make sure I'm getting all of your questions here, Amanda. Also too, I like to have a little buffer time added in our shoot with some extra time at the end. So at the end, if you want to go back and get a couple extra shots of certain models, you absolutely can. I do not like how a lot of shoots will shift us into shooting into blue hour where everything's grainy for people. I want to have that buffer time so no one has to worry about that stuff. But yeah, for photographers typically present, it's going to be a 3-to-1 ratio, the shoot, but I'll be shooting as number 4. So I'll be popping in 2, but primarily my goal is to make sure that everyone that's there and involved is receiving the care that they need. And so me taking photos is secondary. Also, I plan to make sure that everyone has professional photos taken of them, complimentary, while they're there. So the photographers, I want to take photos of you in action, because I know behind the scenes footage means so much to your clients. They love seeing that. And vendors, if you're staying and hanging out for the day, there's going to be photos of you too. So that's something a little bit different than I think a lot of shoots do. I hope that covers everything, Amanda. If you have any other questions, let me know. But yeah, back to benefiting the most from the styled shoot. We were talking about being selective. You have that specific audience that you want to attract. So that's why you guys are in here too. This is a very specific niche. Alternative style shoots are non-traditional creative shoots. You are purposely wanting to expand, your horizons on the people that you're attracting and maybe get more creative with the shoots that you're participating in. So understanding your niche, which again, we'll talk about that more next week, really, really helps to understand what shoots are going to be right for you and ones that may not. Okay, So the last thing I want to talk about too, to maximize the benefits and the marketing, this is actually going to be directed towards photographers, but vendors, don't sign off yet, because I want you to chime in, especially if you play the replay, that's cool too, just chime in then, because I want to hear what you have to say about this too. But photographers, submit your galleries as soon as possible, ASAP. Don't be late, and never, ever, ever, ever skip out on delivering, because that happens all the time. People have put in their time, their effort, their money into these shoots, and quite frankly, people don't charge enough for these shoots. If they are a licensed business, they are paying employer and employee taxes when you are self-employed, and it takes a huge chunk out of that ticket price. So there's a lot that goes into these, and a lot of money, okay? And people that participate are excited to see your images. They are ready to post. They would love to have them as quickly as possible. I understand that we have clients too that we're trying to deal with, but if there's a time frame that is asked that you cannot meet, do not sign up for that styled shoot. It's a disservice to the people that are working so hard and putting their time and effort in, okay? But the thing is, if you can be a photographer who submits your gallery first, guess whose photos are going to be most likely shared for mass marketing? Yours. It's as simple as that. If you can get your galleries in sooner than later, yours are going to be the ones that are most likely shared, because everybody involved is excited to see the photos and they're ready to share them. And the longer you wait, the less people's excitement is, because their excitement wanes. And if you wait and other photographers get ahead of you, they're probably going to be less likely to share yours, because you have to remember there's a group of us. It's not a big group, but it's a group of us. Maybe anywhere from 10, 12, 15 photographers that are shooting the same models, in the same location, with the same aesthetic. Okay? So we all have a different take on that and different styles, but you want to have people share your work. I mean, it's the whole point. It's not just about images that you're getting to help market yourself. This is an opportunity to have other people share your work to thousands of people. When you add up how many followers that model, especially models, hello, models, speak up for me, because you know what I'm talking about. Especially models typically have a large following. And then you have, you know, your rental companies, you have your bakers, your florists. Those people recognize and pay attention as to whether or not you never bothered delivering a gallery, whether or not you took images of what they were hoping you'd feature. They are an opportunity for marketing, a massive opportunity. They can share and refer clients to you. They can post on their social media. They can share your work in their stories. It is so impactful. So it's very, very important. Don't ever be late with your galleries. Don't ever skip out on delivering, and try to submit them as soon as possible. All right, guys, any questions? Photographers, I do have a handout, that's terrible. I have a guide. If you go to my website, rockyrebellion.com, at the top it'll say, you know, free marketing guide. That is a guide that's specifically for photographers that helps you to maximize your marketing from style shoots. So it dives a little bit more into the photography side of things. But I wanted to cover this generally for everyone tonight, so that everyone can see that there's a definite benefit to attending styled shoots. But if we can just shift our mindset a little bit, we can gain more opportunities as vendors, models, florists, bakers, photographers, all of us, by just making sure that we realize it's a team effort. And instead of just letting our nerves and our busyness, you know, and our introversion that we may have get to us, and our focus on what we need, if we can just take a step back and look at this amazing team and group effort that's happening, and being kind and thoughtful and courteous, you have no idea the amount of opportunities that you can have, that I'm telling you, I see time and time again at every shoot I attend, opportunities lost every single time. So if you guys watch the replay later, let me know. I'd love to hear your comments, especially from the vendors. I'd love to hear your comments on this, because I cannot tell you the number of times I've heard vendors be so disappointed. And we cannot, as photographers and as a team, disappoint these vendors, because they are not going to participate in our shoots again, and we need each other. We need to make this a community. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, after I sign off, if you guys have questions or comments, go ahead and post them. I'll be